Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Discovering the right path in today's teen maze might feel like a mission impossible with all the bad influences and distractions. But here's the secret: finding your path isn't as hard as it seems. There's a solution for every challenge, and Allah's guidance is always there to light the way. Have you ever wondered about the key lessons every Muslim teenager should learn for a seamless life? Well, in this video, we've got you covered with 10 golden lessons. Stick around till the very end if you're ready to unlock the wisdom that can lead you to success, and inshallah, the gardens beneath which rivers flow. So, let's dive into the first lesson. Starting with number 10, let's talk about a real challenge we all face: being truthful, especially when you're a teenager in this crazy, competitive and demonic world. Now, my young brothers and sisters, I get it, it's tough. Sometimes you're tempted to bend the truth to avoid trouble with your parents or teachers. Like, you know that moment when you haven't done your homework and the easiest thing seems to be making up some story to avoid getting into trouble? Or when you mess up and the instinct is to hide it from your parents? Sure, these excuses might feel like a shortcut to freedom, but trust me, in the grand scheme of things, they're like a one-way ticket to hell. The real duty that will truly do wonders for you and lead you to Jannah, inshallah, is embracing honesty. The Quran says it clearly. On the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, "This is the day when the truthful will benefit from their truthfulness. For them are gardens in paradise beneath which rivers flow, wherein they will live forever, Allah being pleased with them and they with Him. That is the great attainment." Clearly, there is nothing better than saving yourself from a few fibs and attaining Jannah. So let's all aim for that great attainment: a life full of honesty, success, and maybe even a spot in the best gardens of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next up is the art of being trustworthy. To begin with, my brothers and sisters, do you ever feel like people count on you? Like your parents, teachers, or friends? Imagine if they couldn't trust you. That would make things pretty awkward, right? Well, being trustworthy is like having a golden ticket in society. When people can trust you, it builds a strong foundation for everything you do. As a teenager, it is really important for you to be someone people can count on, because you'll surely be a businessman, a teacher, a doctor, or maybe an engineer in the future. As for you to function without deceptions or dishonesty is what will make you iconic and leader-like. Look at the life of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was known for his trustworthiness among everyone: friends, family, and even people from different backgrounds. People trusted him in important matters like business deals and routine discussions, and he was never accused of theft or manipulation. That's the kind of reliability we should aim for in our lives too. Moving to our next lesson, let's learn to avoid idle talking. You know, those times when we chat without really knowing what we are saying? Like talking about movies, songs, or stuff that doesn't really matter in the big picture. It might seem harmless, but here's the deal. When we get caught up in idle talk, it can steer us away from what really matters, like focusing on our goals and working on our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be a passive listener either, because listening can lead to speaking, and speaking can lead to actions. It is a slippery slope, my brothers and sisters, and you know, even the tiniest mistakes won't go unnoticed. The Quran clearly says, "O my son, indeed, if wrong should be the weight of a mustard seed and should be within a rock or anywhere in the heavens or in the earth, Allah will bring it forth. Indeed, Allah is subtle and acquainted." So let's be mindful of our words, avoid idle talks, and focus on what really matters. Your future self will thank you for it. Moving next, my dear Ummah, have you ever noticed how teens often think they've got it all figured out and want to do everything on their own? It's like this built-in urge to spread your wings and fly solo. But let's hit pause for a second and give a shout out to the unsung heroes in our lives: our parents. Sure, they might seem a bit old school at times, but trust me, they've got gold tablets of advice from their old life adventures. They're not just throwing words around, they've been there, done that, and they definitely don't want you getting in trouble. So value them and show them gratitude. And indeed, Quran sums it up perfectly. Be grateful to me and to your parents. To me is the final destination. So, the next time they drop some wisdom on you or make a sacrifice for your sake, give them a heartfelt thanks. On number 6, let's learn to be patient and exercise self-restraint. Now, my beautiful brothers and sisters, navigating life as a teenager can feel like a whirlwind of tempting situations and distractions. Imagine wanting to hang out with friends, but knowing it's against your beliefs, resisting the urge to stare at someone attractive, or holding back when someone unjustly confronts you. It's tough, right? But here's the thing. Mastering patience and self-control can be your superpower in these moments. Yeah, seriously. When you resist those impulses, you're on a path to something greater. Something so great that it will take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, choosing patience not only helps you navigate the complexities of the modern world, but also earns you the approval of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, promising you a high standing in the hereafter. Next up, do you ever find your mind wandering in class, or struggling to remember what you just learned? It happens to all of us, especially as teenagers. But here's a simple secret: focusing on prayer can help. Think about it. If you give your full attention to your salah, that concentrated focus can spill over into everything else you do. It's like training your brain to stay on track. The Quran even says, "And they who carefully maintain their praise, those are the inheritors who will inherit al-Firdaus. They will abide therein eternally." So by owning your focus during prayer, you're settling yourself up for success in everything else. Moving on to our next lesson, let's admit that it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the here and now. But there's something bigger at play. You might not realize it, but what we do today shapes what comes next. In the Quran, there is a reminder that our actions matter. O mankind, fear your Lord, and fear a day when no father will avail his son, nor will a son avail his father at all. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth, so let not the worldly life delude you, and be not deceived about Allah by the deceiver. Think of it as a roadmap for success, not just in this life, but in what's ahead too. Resisting those tempting distractions and staying on the right path might not always be easy, but it's worth it. Trust me, it sets you up for a win-win situation in this life and in the hereafter. Next up, don't spend too much time and money on things you don't really need. Whether it's watching too much TV or buying stuff you can live without, it's best to be mindful. Even when it comes to eating and drinking, try not to overdo it. Remember what the Quran says: eat and drink, but don't be excessive. Indeed, He likes not those who commit excess. Moving to the next lesson, I know it's very simple, but in today's world, it's a bit rarity. If you believe in being good and doing the right things, you're likely to do well in life. If you remember that Allah is always watching, you'll be grateful, honest, and avoid gossip. Try to be a good person, and you'll see these qualities growing in you. Take a glimpse from the Quran. O children of Adam, we have bestowed upon you clothing to conceal your private parts and as adornment. But the clothing of righteousness, that is best. That is from the signs of Allah that perhaps they will remember. Lastly, on number 1, unlock the beauty of your faith. As Muslims, we hold a deep belief in Allah and His existence, almost like it's wired into our very being. We don't need a manual to prove it. But here's the catch. Not everyone finds it that easy. Sometimes that inner compass gets a little wonky. It's not just a few people, it can happen to anyone, except those whom Allah looks out for. That's why it's crucial to learn about our religion. There's a whole world of evidence supporting what we believe in. So, let's dive into this ocean of knowledge and uncover the beauty of our faith. And there you have it. That's it for today's video. Meet you in the next one. Till then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such reminders. Also, make sure to comment Subhanallah so I know you made it to the end. And as always, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.